Hey everyone, you're listening to the Backlog for June 10th, 2015. Hey, how's everybody doing today? It's V's.
And Eli.
And, yeah, we're back with more of this. This one's gonna be a little, it's not gonna be as scripted as the last few, just because there's not enough for me to care about right now. Pretty much the basics of what's been going on that I saw this week that caught my eye. Hearthstone, shut the fuck up. Every time I hit record, the train starts. Hearthstone is coming out with a new mode called Tavern Brawl. It's just weekly challenges. Cool, I guess. It might get me to start playing the game again, considering I haven't in a long-ass time. It's still better than Magic 2014. God, that game was so slow. Then, yeah, what else? Oh, there's rumors of a... I guess they're not rumors. It was on a commercial that accidentally leaked. The Hyrule Warriors is coming to the new 3DS, and it's also going to include a female Link. So probably the only time we'll ever get that, sadly. What else? You were looking at the stuff with me. What else did we find? That wasn't Hellblade.
I know. That's the first thing I wanted to say. Let's God, what else did,
Oh, Dark Souls 3 is apparently quote-unquote confirmed, even though nobody can confirm it because it was leaked art that could have just been somebody's DeviantArt post, so...
If it's quote-unquote confirmed, it's not confirmed.
Oh, no. Places are saying it's confirmed, but it's just a leaked piece of art that says early 2016, but at the same time, that could just be a piece of fan art somebody slapped on something. I mean, there's no... Whatever. Until we get, like, a leaked trailer or a bunch of screenshots or something, having a piece of art. It's not even, like, in-game. It's like the main character... It's like a character in armor standing and, like, kind of partly on fire and stuff. And then it says, early 2016. That's it. I don't... Whatever. We'll hear about it at E3.
Like, that's probably not...
It's probably true,
leak. But it is kind of hilarious.
The leak is probably real, but people talking about it being confirmed, like it's like From Software has come out and said, yes, we are making Dark Souls 3 and we leaked that image.
That's the company's actual voice.
Yes, that's, well, they have to have something heroic because fucking From is awesome.
What was it? Oh, it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of hilarious to me how many things get leaked.
Well,
like,
there's no such thing. Like, sometimes a leak is a real leak.
Yeah, and I think part of that is just, like, I'm working at a place now where there's really tight security on information, and I'm like, how did you do that? How did you just let something fly onto the internet? I'm
gonna tell you something right now. Most of the time, they do it themselves.
Yeah, well, that's...
Like... Oh my god, still, Battlefield Hardline is the funniest one. And that just fucking
annoys me. I'm like, don't say it's a leak, just put the thing out there.
But it generates more clicks. The best one I've ever seen was Battlefield Hardline. They accidentally put up the entire website. They were testing it and somehow put it public.
How do you do that?
It was fucking astounding. That happened actually like at the end of last year. It was like in November. No, it was earlier than November. I can't remember when it happened. It was last year, though, and it was fucking hilarious. Yeah, they just put up the entire website for Battlefield Hardline, which had a trailer on it and everything. Like, yeah. It was...
Well, and I guess you can see when companies really do want to keep things under wraps, they do, like, I don't know, I was just like, the Fallout trailer...
Well,
because you were talking about
we heard about leaks before then, though.
That's true.
I mean, we had the guy from Guillermo del Toro's place accidentally break NDA when he put the fucking thing on it. Yeah, like people do that shit all the time. That's true,
and it's I don't know, and I think part of it's just because, like I said, every single day now I'm dealing with really intense security on like this dissemination of information. And, like, being constantly reminded, don't talk about things in front of other people, blah, 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 blah. And so it's like, how did you do that? How did you just think that that was like, I'm gonna tweet about this thing I'm not supposed to be talking about because it's a secret.
Yeah.
But I get that, you know, it's video games, but...
Yeah. Yeah, and then on top of that, like, it just leaks happen. They just happen. Like, people just talk about shit, and then it's just like, oh, I wasn't supposed to talk about that. Oh, fucking can't do it now. Or a company is just like, yeah, no, this is what we're doing, but act like it's a leak. And that's what 90% of that shit is anyway. Yeah. So it's like, there's no way that...
Because it's every single week now.
It's always been like this. This isn't anything new. I mean, this has been... It's literally like, oh, yeah, we've got gameplay that leaked. It didn't leak. The company had to go record that gameplay from their alpha build. They then had to go send that video to somebody because the video didn't magically appear at fucking Destructoid's mailbox or something. So it's not a leak. Somebody specifically from that company probably got permission to go record some gameplay, make it look like it was a leak, and just send it off to Destructoid or to IGN or something. Like,
so somewhere out there, someone's job is literally to leak information.
All the time. This is what PR is. This is what video game PR is. It's the same thing with movies. Like, they try to keep movies super under wraps, but although then you also have people, like, coming onto sets and taking photos and stuff. But, like, it's just PR. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's probably because I'm one of those people who doesn't really care about spoilers.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's the same kind. I have that same kind of attitude. Like, it's a leaked thing. I don't care. It's gonna come out when it comes out, and then I'll enjoy it then.
Yeah. When I get to go play it, then I'll give a fuck about it. But I mean, before Dark Souls 3 and Fallout 4 come out anyway, we have to get new graphics cards. So fucking, I don't care. We can't play them right now as it is. What else was there? There wasn't really a ton this week that I gave any kind of a shit about.
It was a real slow week. It
was a very slow week. And also Chrome has decided to go onto the other screen that I cannot see. I wish it would not do that. I'm going to go open up my tabs and see what's... I hit the thing, please. Thank you. Yeah, so we have... Oh, new Ratchet and Clank. Yeah. So there's a new Ratchet and Clank finally, which is awesome because we've had one in like the last 10 years. Which Ratchet and Clank is an awesome game series, and legitimately, that might tempt me for a PlayStation 4. I really love Ratchet and Clank, so...
It's another game that happened when I was younger and not allowed to play video games.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, the Xbox One got a priceless, or a pointless price cut, but at least they now have a 1 terabyte model. So essentially, the 500 gig model got dropped to $350. The new $400 model is the 1 terabyte model. So for $50 more, you're getting double the hard drive space, rendering the 500 gig completely pointless. I mean, like if it was a $100 or $150 price cut,
yeah.
Like if it was like $250, maybe $300, I could see doing that.
Well, if it was, you know, that would make it around half the price of the 1 terabyte one.
Well, no, it's
a little more.
If it was like a $150 price drop, $100, like $300, that'd be a 3/4 of the price would be good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and $250 would be, I would fucking go buy one. Like, I would go buy one in a couple paychecks.
Yeah.
Because it's just worth it at that point. At $250, but $350, $50 less than the 1 terabyte model.
There's no point in that.
There's like if you're at that point where you need to have an Xbox One, which I don't know anybody who must have an Xbone. I mean, like in the end, if you can't just save up another $50 and get the bigger model, just start building a PC. Fucking, you can get a terabyte hard drive for like, what did we get yours? $30 for or something? Wait, no, mine was a terabyte. Mine was like $35.
Yeah.
So watch Amazon, build a decent PC for like $500. Fucking don't. But yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna get an Xbox One, just pay the extra $50 and get a fucking.
I can think of a pretty specific, like a large subset of people who need to have an Xbox One.
I can't.
Like you know, like those like teenagers who are living at their parents' house, who like the ones who eat the Doritos and shit, like my brothers when they were teenagers. They don't need
to have an Xbox One. They really want an Xbox One because Call of Duty's is on it.
Yes.
But the thing about it is, at that point, just buy the terabyte version. The 500 gig version is pointless now. Because $50 is not even the price of an extra controller. The controllers are $60.
Stupid.
The controllers are $59.99. You cannot even now buy the 500 gig and then get another controller alongside it for the same price as the terabyte. So there is no point in getting the 500 gig.
Well, and like what you were saying earlier is that you can't change the hard drives now.
Yeah, you can't change the hard drives on the Xbox One. And on top of that, games are mostly sold digitally now.
So,
and games are massive. Fucking the Halo Master Chief Collection had a 20 gigabyte day one patch. 20 fucking... WoW is a 38 gig install. That is half of WoW. That is half of all of World of Warcraft. I think Guild Wars 2 is 18. That is more than Guild Wars 2's entire game as a patch. Plus now also, anybody who bought the game gets Halo 3 ODST for free as a download. So that means that they also have to have that thing downloaded, which is like another 6 or 7 gig. So that's a 27 gig patch plus all the smaller incremental patches since then. That is already right there. I mean, you're probably going to look at a 30 to 35 gigs with that one game plus the game's install. Which is probably another, because it's all of the Halo games through 4, I believe. So that's at least four games if they don't include the little side games. So, yeah, I think it includes Reach as well. So Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach... Oh no, 5 games. Reach and 4 and ODST. But ODST we're going to take out of that. So you're looking at probably a 50 gig install total installing all those games. That is already 1/10 of your hard drive for one game.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous. Why they ever thought that having a 500 gig hard drive in that thing was ever going to work, I don't know. Because you're going to have to uninstall your shit every time you want to play a new game. Because every game has to install because it's Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point in even buying a physical copy because you're still going to have to install everything. Yeah. So you might as well just buy it digitally so it can't be destroyed on accident. And then you have, well, apparently according to Konami's rules now, they can just take away fucking licenses from people. But then you have shit just like... Then you're just like, oh, well, I feel like playing this. Oh, well, I gotta uninstall something. Well, all these games are all like 40 to 50 gigs, so I guess it doesn't matter. I'm gonna have to fucking spend 3 days downloading whatever game I uninstall now at some other point. So a 1 terabyte hard drive is kind of a must. I wish they would release like a 2 terabyte, maybe a 4 terabyte version. Just put 2. They use fucking laptop hard drives. These are tiny little fucking hard drives. They could fit 4 of those in that giant box. Mm-hmm. That thing's bigger than a VCR. They could fit 4 of those inside that box. Put 4 1 terabyte hard drives in. Raise the cost by another $50, $100. That I would buy one. If it was $500 but had 4 terabytes of storage in it, sure.
Yeah, because that's like, you just need that now.
Nowadays, you need to have that if you want to fucking like be able to download. Like, I could install my entire Steam library to my external right now.
Like, you used to need a bookshelf, and now you need like at least a terabyte of
minimum
storage.
If you want to do gaming. Like a terabyte right now. I could clear off my external hard drive and install the majority of my Steam library on my external and the rest onto my internal. Mm-hmm. I have like almost 3 terabytes worth of games. Most of those are tiny, like, or just little, like, indie games and stuff. Mm-hmm. My bigger games, like the 50 gig fucking Titanfall and shit like that, like, that's where the space goes.
Yeah.
I mean, 41 gig of that goes to Dragon Age. Dragon Age 1. Dragon Age 2 had like another 20 something gig. So between those 3 games, I'm already taking up 110, 120 gig.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of space.
Yeah.
For 3 games. So, yeah, having a 1 terabyte Xbox One is fine. Having a 500 gig is pointless, especially when it's $50 less.
Well, like, if you compare the amount of games you can put on that 500...
Yeah.
I wanted to say 500 terabyte. No.
I wish.
That's
I wish we had a
much.
fucking petabyte. I wish we had petabyte drives. That would be amazing.
Anyways, that's like those, you know, like... the stack of like 6 games that always sat on top. Like I remember when we had the Wii when I was not even a kid, when I actually was allowed to play video games, and we always had like that stack of 6 games that sat on top of it because those were the ones we played all the time. But like that's your entire hard drive. You get like, you know, maybe 10, 12 games on there, and then you have to start uninstalling stuff. That's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and I don't get why it would be a $50 price drop either.
Also,
like,
I just realized how fast like this industry has changed since I just got nostalgic for something that happened like at most 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, like, it's been 9, maybe 10 years since the Xbox 360. Because I think it's been 10 years now.
Yeah, because
what
I remembered was I just vividly remembered the sound of like pulling a case out from between 2 other cases, and then when the one falls down, it made that like clicking
that little
sound.
Clink, yeah.
Like I was like, oh, I missed that sound, and then I was like, dear God, that was maybe 10 years ago.
Oh well, see, I never really had a huge stack of games when I had a 360 because I just fucking played arcade games. Like I didn't even have Skyrim for 360. Mm-hmm. I did end up getting it at one point, but I had like Fallout 3 and I think 2 other games that had cases, and I can't even remember what they are. And then I had like 20 fucking arcade games. I ended up playing Splosion Man more than I was playing anything else when I got rid of my 360. For just some reason, I have missed Splosion Man. I should play that.
Yeah, I had I owned like 5 games. Like me personally, I owned the 3 Mass Effect games.
That's what I was playing when I got rid of my 360. I had just gotten Mass Effect 2. Mm-hmm. That's how long ago it was when I had that from 360.
I had Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. And I had Mirror's Edge.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Those were my games. That was it.
I literally above what I just clicked on is Mirror's Edge. Also, what is Metro 2033 and Bio... Oh god, my fucking things got all jacked up. It says BioShock is a platformer. No.
Well...
I need to go fix this later. I have a very meticulously organized Steam library, and it got messed up somehow, and I'm really upset. So I have to go fix this.
See, I have never, ever organized my media. Like, never my books, never my movies. I used to organize my books by color, because I thought it looked nice.
My Steam library is very important to me, and it's not organized, and it's gonna really bother me until I fix it. So we need to finish this podcast up.
Okay, we went way on a tangent there.
Yeah, we went on a storage tangent for a bit there.
Okay, yeah, where
let's
were
see.
we?
What else? Dark Souls 3. Oh, yes. Chris Avellone, I believe. Avellone, I don't know how to pronounce his name. But he left Obsidian, and he was the creative director during most of it. He helped found the company, and he worked on Fallout 2 and worked on Fallout New Vegas, which Fallout New Vegas was definitely, in my opinion, superior to 3 in terms of its writing. I still kind of liked 3's setting more. I liked the Old West thing in New Vegas, but I really liked 3's just like destroyed metropolis kind of thing. It had a really cool feel to it. But yeah, I mean, Fallout New Vegas was arguably a better game than Fallout 3 overall, and one of the guys who was like the lead person on it left Obsidian, so maybe he'll be heading over to Bethesda for Fallout 4? Maybe he'll write some of the DLC? Didn't give any reason as to why he left, but yeah, that's kind of sad to see somebody leave a company that they helped found like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like they've been around for fucking, I think it was 1996 they founded. So
yeah. Well, there hasn't been there's no reason yet, right?
Yeah, he hasn't given a reason.
I mean, hopefully it wasn't a bad split.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's, you know, when people leave places, it's always worse when something bad happened. That's just, I don't know.
Oh, well, this is 24 minutes ago, so right when we started recording, apparently Ouya is getting bought by Razer. That's interesting. Ouya, I don't think you've ever seen anything about Ouya. That was the Android console.
Yeah, I think we talked about that at some point.
Yeah, we did talk about them being sold, like looking for a buyer because they're. God, I could rant about Ouya's horrible everything for a while.
Starting with the name.
The system itself didn't bother me. It was essentially an emulator box. That was all anybody was going to buy it for, because you could slap on an N64 emulator or a Genesis emulator and play 1.5 billion games for free. Which they knew.
That's some. I mean, there's a lot of value in that.
It's illegal though.
That's true.
And they kind of half advertised it as that. When people would mention doing that on Twitter, they would retweet it, even though not quite legal unless you own the games. Which is why I can not currently. I need to go pick up a PlayStation.
What if you potentially own the games, but they might be in a box somewhere?
To legally be able to use an emulator, you need to own the system and the game. Then you can legally play on an emulator all you want. Which is why I need to pick up a PS1 so that I can play Legend of Dragoon on my PC. Yes.
Does it have to work? The system?
I'm not sure. I'm just gonna say no because
I'm pretty sure you could pick up a
shell
system for pretty darn cheap.
I could find somebody who's about to throw out an old PS1 and just use it. But
for some reason, I self-censored there, and I was like, I can't say damn.
Yeah. So essentially, the Ouya was it didn't do well. And they've been looking for a buyer, and I guess as of 24 minutes ago, reportedly, Razer is buying Ouya. So, I don't know, Razer makes pretty decent gaming stuff, so we'll see what they... Razer's weird. I don't buy any of their products. I don't use any of their products. I've heard they're really good. I have no personal experience. And it seems weird that a company that makes, like, mice and keyboards and mouse pads would buy a console maker. I don't understand. But whatever. Fucking everybody buys everybody.
Yeah.
Apple bought Beats. The world can go to hell. I don't care.
Well, I mean, if they have the money and they're looking to expand their portfolio, what's business speak for get bigger? I
guess. I don't fucking know.
Business speak for do more things in different ways.
Fuck if I know, man. Yeah, so there's nothing really else. I'm scrolling through right now through my RSS feed, and there is really nothing else going on today.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Hellblade yet.
Well, that was going to be the main thing we talked about.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you
wait. This episode's already 24 minutes long.
I wasn't sure if you were getting there or if you were wrapping up.
So, okay.
Well, it's because we went off on that tangent.
Yeah, we went on the storage tangent.
Yeah.
So, Ninja Theory is a company I really like. They made Enslaved, Odyssey of the West. They made a lot of games. But one of my favorites that they've made is Enslaved Odyssey to the West, which I would like to start doing a playthrough of again. I think I'm going to just restart and get back up to that point. Anyway, they are making a new game called Hellblade, and more details have been announced about it, and a trailer came out. The game centers around a woman who survives a Viking invasion and subsequently has a mental illness. I'm assuming PTSD. It's not stated directly. And it deals with her dealing with that. Between her having hallucinations and delusions and fighting said hallucinations and stuff. And, like, the entire game is essentially her own personal hell. And I thought that was really interesting because it's something that isn't super explored all that often.
Like, I feel like it's something that tends to be explored, but more often in, like, the horror genre, and usually as, like, a shock piece. Like, ooh, this person's crazy. You're inside their brain the whole time. You know?
Yeah, they did that with The Evil Within. You played as a character that was inside another person's mind the whole time. Spoilers on that, fucking, if you cared about that game. No, that was, like, one of Bethesda's biggest flops critically. They did not do well with that.
I think I watched maybe an hour.
You and I watched Markiplier play it.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about rewatching that, because I think the game was better than people gave it credit.
I was interested.
Yeah,
I just saw bits and pieces and couldn't really figure out what was going on. So.
I just didn't care about the main character because he literally looked like every other main character. He was scruffy white dude.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the idea of being inside the mind of a crazy person. I was trying to figure out how to put air quotes in my voice. Is something that's been done, but I'm really interested to see if this is, rather than being like we're inside her crazy brain, but just this is how she sees the world because of what's happened.
I think they're going to go more the Dead Space 3 route. Because in Dead Space 3, and I guess to a lesser extent Kane and Lynch, which fuck those games though, those were awful games, Dead Space 3 had it so that the main character sees things and has to fight things that aren't actually there. Like, if you're playing in co-op and you're playing player 2, you see Isaac fighting, like, you'll look over and like the other player will have to be killing something that's on screen for them, but not for you. And that's a cool concept. I think they're going to go like that, but with a single player thing. So essentially everything that you're seeing is either a hallucination that you're fighting or something else that's in some way twisted by her mind into something more horrific than it is. Like, I think from the trailer it shows her fighting like a big dude with like a flaming skull, like it looked like a deer skull with antlers and like
or some sort of like,
and
I thought it was like
I thought it was fire, but it might have been like
with like flames in it,
something like that. Like, but
I thought it was like a tree person.
No, he had muscle and stuff.
You can have muscles and be a tree.
No. But, and I think it's probably, she's just fighting a Viking. And that's just her brain interpreting him as a demon because that's her easiest way for her mind to make sense of, like, the extreme violence and everything that happened in the invasion. So, I don't know. We don't know much about the game yet.
I'm really, really interested in it for two reasons. And the first being that they specifically say that they're trying to deal with mental illness. Yes. Which is something that I feel like we don't see very often. Like, I feel like you see mental illness come up a lot, especially in horror, but not in the sense of we want to explore this concept in a way that's like,
not shitty,
and
not just like, mental ill people.
Oh, you're crazy. We're in an asylum. Everyone's crazy and trying to stab us with stuff. Like,
yeah, Outlast. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's really refreshing to see somebody say this is, and like they specifically said it, that this is a topic that doesn't get dealt with very often. We want to deal with it, and I'm very happy that they chose a female Celtic warrior. Yeah. That's very cool. Like, I really, really want to play this game for because those are things that I'm interested in. And I'm very particular. Like, I get very upset when I see mental illness dealt with in a way that's sensationalized or used for shock value, and it doesn't feel like that's what they're doing here.
Yeah, I enjoy... Okay, so they made the new Devil May Cry. You've seen me playing around with that game. Yes. They made DMC. They made Heavenly Sword. Remember that fucking horrible movie that we started watching? Yes. It was based on that game. They made Heavenly Sword, and they made Enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are the 3 big games that they've made, and now they're making Hellblade. So far they've made... Like, Heavenly Sword was a pretty decent game overall. It wasn't great, but for a very early PS3 game on a system that nobody at the time owned, with a bunch of new weird tech in it that was super hard to develop for, it was a really good game. Apparently the PS3 was the worst thing ever to develop for.
Yeah.
Because it used a proprietary processor made by IBM, and it was a fucking beast to try to figure out, and developers hated the PS4, or PS3. So, and I loved Enslaved. God, I love that game. So, I mean, we have Enslaved Odyssey of the West, which I really, really loved, and I love how they treated the characters and stuff in that. And we'll see how they... And I like the new DMC, no matter what people say, I liked that fucking game. We'll see how they do with Hellblade.
Like, if they do a good job with this, that could easily... I mean, that would definitely make them a studio that I would really like to see put out more. Like, right... I don't think I've played any of their games. I know that Enslaved is just beautiful, and Devil May Cry, the bits and pieces I saw of it was also beautiful, and I saw the beginning, and it was fantastic. So
the pizza crust. The one problem with Hellblade that I've seen so far, and it's my one major issue that'll probably keep me from playing it. It's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. So, no PC. So, I'm not buying a PS4 for that one game, although it plus Ratchet and Clank may get me to maybe buy a used PS4 someday so I can play them. I would like to get a PS4, an Xbox One, and a Wii U just so I can record stuff from those, but that's a very long time down the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point where I would definitely watch somebody do a Let's Play of Hellblade.
Oh, I'm sure Cry or Mark or somebody will do it.
I would most likely buy it if it came out for PC, but there's no way I'm gonna buy a PS4.
Oh yeah,
that.
I would 100% buy it if it came out on PC.
I just don't have the disposable income to buy platforms for one game.
Exclusive games are pointless, and I guess this is gonna devolve and be the end of our podcast today. Exclusive games, I hate them so much. I hate the concept of exclusive games because you are doing nothing but hurting your own sales. Kingdom Hearts if it had stayed exclusive on the PlayStation, would never finish playing Kingdom Hearts because I'm not going to buy a PS4 just for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Keeping this game, keeping Hellblade exclusive, keeping, I guess The Order was a Sony game, so I guess, okay. If it's a proprietary game, if it's, you're the one who made the console, you're the one who made the game, keep it exclusive. I don't give a fuck about that. Halo can stay exclusive. The Order can stay exclusive. Shit like that can. But if it's not, if you are a third-party studio making a game, you probably are not going to make as much money cutting that exclusivity deal than you would if you released on every platform that could play it and got the sales from that. Like, Dark Dreams Don't Die was supposed to be an exclusive on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
It is already, I think it has already outsold the Xbox One version on PC.
Yeah.
It has only been out for
I'm very glad
5 days.
that did not stay exclusive because it would not have, I don't think we would get the end.
Well,
if it had.
Well, I don't know if we're still going to get the... Sweary is very happy.
I'm just...
But, yeah.
I'm telling myself we're going to get the end because that game is so fucking ridiculous. But, it's just stupid to limit your customer base.
Yeah, I'm looking up to see if there are any numbers on the PC sales for Dark Dreams Don't Die. I know it's only been 5 days, but we can see.
I'm really curious to see... Like, are PC sales for games in general higher than console sales?
Typically, no.
Yeah,
because typically there's a lot more choice on a PC than there is on a console. You have a lot more indies, you have a lot more free games, you have a lot more games that are multi-platform release and stuff that are coming out. So typically, if somebody has, and a lot of the time, honestly, not everyone wants to sit at their computer. They want to sit down on their couch and look at their big TV, and so they buy a game on console. That is one of the things
about PC gaming is that the experience of sitting down with someone in the room with you and playing a co-op game is difficult to reproduce.
Well, not really. It's just people don't want to take the time to do it. I could take this machine right here. We used yours on the TV. You just set it up next to your TV, you get a wireless keyboard and mouse, you get 2 wireless controllers, and you go for it.
Yeah. Well,
and it takes 2 seconds to do that. But nobody wants to do that.
Well, but like if you have a whole setup at your desk, and you've got like cords going everywhere, and then we have things called the Steam Link, which is coming out, which lets you stream your games from your big thing to the little box. See, when that happens, then I'm really excited for that.
You can already do that. We could install Steam on your piece of shit laptop right there, that one that barely works, and stream games from my PC right here to that thing with it hooked up to the TV. So nowadays, it's really getting hard for consoles to make a lot of sense because there's a lot more functionality from a PC.
Because that's really the only experience that playing a console game.
The couch co-op the couch, like sitting with other people thing, is the one thing that consoles have out on PC, and Steam is trying to get that.
Yeah, I mean, and once more streaming, when streaming becomes more mainstream, yeah, it's not going to be an issue.
Well, fuck, we didn't even talk about that. That happened this past week. All of the pre-orders and shit for the new hardware for Steam and stuff came out.
Yeah, I know. I saw the controller.
Yeah, the controller, the Link, and the Steam machines. All the pricing was shown for.
And we were like, "Oh, this is going to be such a short episode."
Yeah, no, the Steam controller, which I am buying one of these. I'm gonna buy one. You can just have my fucking Xbox One controller if it's not terrible. But I'm gonna buy one of these to test it out and review it. I think I might actually pre-order it. But you can buy the Steam controller for $49.99 and the Steam Link for, I believe, it is also $49.99. And you can buy a bundle with the two for $99.98, which is literally just the 2 prices mashed. They didn't even cut anything off on that. But you can take this. See, it's got an HDMI, 2 USB, and an Ethernet port, and then another, looks like, USB on the side. You just take that, you hook it up to your TV, and it streams your games from your big PC onto your TV through this little box that's super low power. You just have it plugged in right there, and everything looks pretty and nice, and it plays from that computer and just streams to the other one. And you can do that within Steam as well. Like right now, if you wanted to play something that was installed on mine, you just come over to my computer, click turn on in-home streaming, and it will just, as long as you're logged in on my account and you're in the other room, you can just stream from my computer without even installing shit.
So you need to have one
beefy computer. You need one beefy computer and a Steam Link to be able to have couch stuff.
Yeah. That's really cool, because that is, again, that's making the one thing that was difficult to do with a PC.
Yeah.
Really fucking easy.
And then they have controllers for it too. So right there is that's your couch stuff.
I wonder if someday, like, computers are just going to be, like, built into, like, a closet somewhere, and then you can just essentially stream it to screens around the house. You won't even have to have the computer nearby.
Yeah. It's
like, just stick it in the laundry room with, like, your water heater and your whatever else you have in the laundry room, your washer and dryer.
Yeah, probably. I mean, well, it has a wired Ethernet and wireless in it, wireless AC, so newest standard. 3 USB 2.0 ports, a Bluetooth 4.0, HDMI out, and plays games in 1080p 60 FPS as long as the base computer can play them in that. So, like, if we're going to go try to play The Witcher 3, God no, our computers cannot handle that. But we could probably stream it in 30 frames a second on medium settings to the TV.
That's pretty fucking incredible.
For $50 plus $50 a controller. That's a pretty good price on that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean...
Well, considering that computers have so many different functionality, like so much different... You can do many things on them. I have been up a long time and I'm...
Oh, I understand. I have to.
You can do lots of things on a computer.
Yeah. Computers are a lot more functional than
consoles.
That's
what I was trying to say.
So
you
then
can surf the web.
And that's why
you can draw a picture.
Which I need to do. And just to bring it back to what we were talking about, that's why I don't like that's why I really dislike exclusives. Because there's no real point, and I don't like the fact like Titanfall was a Xbox One/360/PC exclusive. Right there, that's not a fucking exclusive. That's 3 platforms that thing's on. So no, that's not a fucking exclusive. Hi, Odette. It is a Microsoft exclusive, and the next one's not going to be because Microsoft put out so much money, but that game died out so fast. Well, also because there wasn't enough content for it, but still.
Yeah, if your game like relies on having lots of people playing it, limiting the ways those people can get to your game is never going to be useful to you.
Yeah, and so like limiting the place where people can buy games is stupid. Limiting the console is even dumber. And having like I hate pre-order bonuses, I hate exclusives, and I hate how DLC is treated. DLC as a concept is really good. Like adding in more content, but chopping out wide swaths of a game to then sell it piecemeal later, i.e. Ubisoft, i.e. Capcom, or releasing 1.5 billion DLC packs when the game is released, i.e. fucking what's that one game called that I hate that I never played too much of? Evolve.
Yeah.
Fucking $400 fucking dollars for
Jesus
that shit.
Christ.
Just like $300 to $400.
It's not even.
That's a console. $300 is a fucking console.
Yeah.
You could buy a PS3, a 360, and a Wii for that much. You could buy a Wii U for that much. To buy an entire game?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
And I mean, a lot of it is non-essential stuff, but still, that's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I just... And to have it day one. That's the worst part. For day one DLC. I hate day one DLC. Day one DLC is the worst part of it all. Because that means that they took out of the development time to fucking make DLC. And you have shit that comes out like Unity. And it comes out with DLC, but the game doesn't work. Because they took half the fucking development time to make DLC, and they didn't make any goddamn progress on the game. And then they're like, oh, we gotta shit this out. And exclusives kind of force that kind of stuff because they have to make up the money they lost by making an exclusive somewhere. So let's shit out a bunch of DLC for something. And I don't know. I really heavily dislike exclusives, and I really, really hate pre-order bonuses.
The point of DLC is to make the game give the game value after it's been released. Like after people have already played it. To continue to give the game life and value. Yeah,
like I don't even mind like the Dragon Age 2 DLC that had arguably its kind of story DLC where you go and you learn about Hawke's father. It's not integral to the story. You don't need to know these things, but finding these things out matters in Inquisition. And I don't think they planned that out. But finding out the stuff that you find out in the Lineage DLC, I believe it's called Lineage, in Dragon Age 2 leads to what you learn about things in Inquisition. But it's not you don't have to know it to complete Dragon Age 2. You don't have to know it for Dragon Age 2 to be a complete story. So I'm okay with that kind of stuff. But when you have stuff where, like, what game was it? I think it was Assassin's Creed 3, I think, or maybe it was no. It was, I believe it was Revelations or Brotherhood or something. It was one of the Ezio games. The literal ending to the game, like the end of the story for one of those games, was DLC. Like, you had to get the DLC because that was where the real ending was, and it ended the story for that game. When, I mean, the original ending was kind of a little bit more open-ended and opened up for a sequel, but still having a chunk of something being there, it's like, no. And that game wasn't even exclusive.
Because, like, the point of DLC is, here is this completed thing. Enjoy it. Now that you've enjoyed it, here's additional things to add to this completed thing.
That you can enjoy. And instead we get DLC packs, and we get pre-order things, and we get exclusives, and it's just the industry fucking with itself. Mm-hmm. Like, Hellblade would be amazing on PC.
Yeah.
I don't know how the game is going to actually play. We don't know yet. But you know what? It's Ninja Theory. I'll trust them. Their games handle fucking amazingly. All of their games, the combat is fucking gorgeous. I think DMC may be my favorite action game. Like, the combat in that game is probably the best I've ever played in, like, a third-person, like, hack-and-slash brawler ever. Because you can switch between the weapons fluidly. Combos are... You can keep those combos going forever. Everything looks gorgeous when you're doing it. Like, it's fucking astounding.
Like, and another difficult thing, another frustrating thing with exclusives is that a game that flops isn't going to kill the console.
No, but it could kill the developer. It has. There have been plenty of developers who have made exclusive games that didn't do well, and it's just like, well, fuck. Like, I mean, Sweary's only made a few games, but, I mean, like, he's lucky. He got really lucky with Deadly Premonition. Mm-hmm. He got very, very lucky that it got a really cult following, and it did fairly well for the kind of game it was. But, I mean, if he couldn't have gotten out from under Microsoft and done Dark Dreams Don't Die for PC on his own and with his production company and stuff, because it got farmed. Little shit underneath her fucking our rat decided to chew through one of her blankets. But like, Deadly Premonition got farmed out to another company that fucked the PC port to hell.
Yeah.
It's a disgusting port. It sucks. It doesn't work 90% of the time. The console version works fine. The console version is great. So the one that Sweary had a hand in works fine. And so he's just like, no, we're going to make the actual PC version this time. We're going to not be under contract with Microsoft. It's not going to be exclusive anymore. So, and the game is so far doing well. But that, if he couldn't have gotten out of that contract, it may have killed him making games anymore. Yeah. Because it's a great game, but it just, if it doesn't sell well because Microsoft doesn't say a damn thing about it existing, it might have killed them.
Well, because Microsoft doesn't care.
Microsoft doesn't give a fuck. Xbox is a pet project for them.
I mean, if they kill off a developer, that doesn't affect them in the least.
No. Well, like, look at Konami. They've killed off like 9 things lately. Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not, like, and that's the frustrating part, is that it's the developer who's doing the work and taking all the risk.
Yeah, and then the publisher's just like, fuck it. I mean, you do have publishers that take risk. Like, THQ was a fairly decent publisher. They went under for it, and they got bought out by they essentially got 90% of their library bought out by Nordic, and the rest by like small other places. But
and I think that structure is like across most publishing industries. If you look at books and music, that's pretty much always the way it is, that the publisher is taking some risk, maybe, but not really.
No, not
because
much.
When something flops, they have something else to turn to, but the actual creator, they could have put years and years and all their money into that, and when it flops, they have nothing else.
Fuck, what game was it that it was a massive budget? Like, it was a couple $100 million, I think, into this game. they did so much work on it. It came out and it just fucking flopped. God, I wish I could remember what the game was. But I mean, like, it came out and it was just like, no one bought this game. No one. Oh, well, SWTOR is a perfect example of that, actually. That game had an estimated budget of like $700 million. Because every line of dialogue is voiced. Everything is like, it was supposed to be the WoW killer, which we'd heard that a billion times when that came out. And in under a year, the game was free to play, and EA and BioWare were trying to recoup losses on it because they didn't make shit because nobody bought it.
Yeah. Nobody
continued playing the game. The subscription thing didn't work out for them. And they were kind of like the death knell of subscription MMOs, which Final Fantasy is the only one that's holding on, but they're doing fine. They've got a few million players. Final Fantasy 14 is fine. WoW still has like 7 million or something, so it's not like they're gonna stop anytime soon. They can go up and down millions of players and it won't matter. They literally print money with WoW. I guess figuratively print money with WoW.
All that money has to be printed somewhere.
But exclusive, we keep going away from exclusives.
Yeah.
Exclusives as a thing are super shitty for the industry because it locks out what games are. Like, people want to just... I want to play video games. I don't want to have to worry about if I have... Like, Kingdom Hearts. That story is so spread out across different consoles because they gave exclusivity to different places. Oh, this side game is a PSP game. Oh, this side game is a DS game. This one, the main games are on the PlayStation. Oh, now it's not. It's on everything. What if somebody's just now getting into Kingdom Hearts with 3 and they own an Xbox One?
Yeah.
Well, they're fucked. They aren't going to be able to go back and go get... They're going to have to go buy a PS2 and buy all the games and stuff because it's not going to be available for download because those were PlayStation exclusives. You could go do it if you're on PS4. But it's just really...
Well, most people have $20, $40, $60 to pay for a game.
Yeah, you don't have...
Most people don't have several $100 3 or 4 times to pay for all the consoles you would need to play everything you want.
Yeah, I mean, to get all 3 main consoles right now, the Wii U is like $250. You're looking at $4 for the Xbox, and you're looking at, I believe, $4 for the PlayStation 4. So you're looking at
$1,000.
Yeah, you're looking at $1,050.
$400 plus $400 plus $200.
You're looking at $1,050 plus tax and everything. Plus, you need extra controllers and games. To get all of those things, you're looking at probably like $1,500 to $2,000 for all 3 consoles. I remember back when the PS3 came out, when I got mine was like $1,100, $1,200 for just the PS3 because when it first came out, it was like $700 or some shit. It's like $600 or $700. It was insane. And I ended up getting that, 3 games, and 3 extra controllers. Controllers were $60 a piece, games were $60 a piece, and the console. I spent like $1,100 on it.
Even when I was playing console games, because I had a Wii and an Xbox, I would never buy any game at full price. I couldn't stand it. No. I would buy them used, whatever. And now, having like a PC, I'm even more cheap. I'm like, that game's $20. That's expensive.
Well, and I think that's an issue. Because some games... Like, there are some games, like, I would definitely give $20 for something like not the Leaper. I cannot think.
We're almost at an hour, too, so.
The Swapper. I would give $20 for the Swapper. That's a really amazing game.
Yeah.
It's not long, but it's really good. I would give $10, $15 for something like, oh, fuck, what was I playing that was super cheap? I got it for, like, really cheap on sale. And shit, I was just playing it. But I like, there are things I would give a chunk of money for.
Well, and there are games out there that I would pay $50, $60 for.
Oh yeah, well definitely. There are games.
I'm not saying that I'm not going to pay full price for something because I don't think that people, like the developers, deserve it. It's just that people don't have that kind of money to throw around. And if your entire business is built on catering to a minority of people that have that kind of cash, which essentially is like teenagers with rich parents. Like, and then you know, young people with good jobs.
Yeah, you have the outliers and stuff there, but it's mostly just rich upper middle class kids who can afford all three of them and all the games they want, and mommy and daddy buy them a big 50-inch TV to plaster on the wall and play their games on. Like, you don't have...
And I think that like, part of the reason that people want cheaper games now is because that, you know, a lot of us are growing up and moving out and getting jobs and don't have money.
Yeah, like, there's a reason I buy Humble Bundles. I don't buy a lot of, like, okay, I spent $20 on Darkest Dungeon. Worth every penny. I also have bought Humble Bundles that were worth hundreds of dollars for $1.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I only have $1 and I'm like, I want some new goddamn videos. I want some videos and I want to play them. God damn it, give me my videos. And so I go and I buy a fucking... I buy a Humble Bundle for $1, and I might increase it later on to beat the average or something, but it's one of those things where sometimes money is tight and sometimes you got an extra $20.
Yeah.
But I rarely have an extra 60. And then keeping things at an exclusive thing, it's like, I would love to play Hellblade. I'm never going to be able to play Hellblade.
Yeah.
I will probably never play Hellblade because it is a PS4 exclusive. As much as I'm interested in the game, I'm not going to go buy a PS4 to play it. I'm just not. And
well, I mean, and I think it's interesting to look at the demographics of, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head what the average age of a quote-unquote gamer is, but I would guess it's somewhere in the mid-20s.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, people,
you know,
it'd probably be early 20s to mid 30s.
Yeah.
Maybe up to 40, because you have people who grew up playing Pong.
Yeah.
And who got into video games when they started, who are now in their 40s.
You have people like
mid-40s.
my uncle who grew up played Pong as a teenager and then decided, this is cool, I like computers, I'm gonna make games. And he ended up being an engineer for Boeing, but always was into video games his whole life. And like, but the younger, like the people who are in their early 20s to mid 30s are probably buying the most games, and I'm pretty sure demographically don't have loads of money to be spending on that.
Yeah.
What did you find?
Just posted on IGN. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, has optional microtransactions.
Good God.
Oh, Konami, just stop. I'm done with Konami.
Fucking Christ. You had to leave us with that.
Yeah. Yep. That's... Oh my God, what?
What, are they gonna charge you for
Wait.
What?
Platinum Games just tweeted 11 minutes ago, here's something to get you through Wednesday. It is a screenshot I will throw up on the video version of this. I think we're getting a Vanquish 2. You don't know what Vanquish is, and off recording I will show you Vanquish. I'm very happy right now. Because Vanquish was an amazing fucking game.
That's much better. That's much better. Thank you. I was depressed.
So that's where we're gonna leave it. It looks like we're getting a Vanquish 2 or a remake of Vanquish. Either way, Platinum Games, thank you for leveling out Konami's shit. Anyway, if you like this shit, our hour of rambling here, patreon.com/SSP. You can find the podcast at squidproductions.com/the Backlog, I believe, or just Backlog, or Backlog Podcast. Go to squidproductions.com. It's in the podcast drop down.
We
just
have
click
menus.
Backlog. There's menus there.
They're easier to use than the menus with shit controller support.
Yes, like in a lot of other games that we've had come out lately. Yeah, so anyway, video version will be up on youtube.com/recurringvs, and have a nice night, everybody.
Goodbye.